Thank you very much, Karen, and thank you both for your time today. It's very much appreciated. Ms. Karam, you spoke about the free market failure and also about industrial strategy, which is back in vogue in more ways than just in this area. To what extent, just looking back before we look forward, to what extent was that failure incubated by China? I mean, was it a geopolitical strategy from China, or was it, would you characterise it as more an industrial strategy?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you saying why did it work for China, or did China cause us to?
Essentially, did China undercut us deliberately over the period that's led to this situation? Or is it
I don't believe so. I think that they just had a very assertive policy. They had very big goals. They were very driven, and they have less rules or rules that don't that we don't operate by. And so our playbook, the Western playbook, maybe constrains us in different ways. Or if we look at it another way, China's growth is really because the government decided that we want to grow globally. We are going to foster this growth, and we are going to use different means than the West is used to enable that. So for example, when I was at Cisco, I led a competitive intelligence and sales support program for my sales teams worldwide and how to compete with Huawei. One of our biggest challenges, or a lot of the escalations I would get at corporate headquarters was, oh my goodness, Huawei won our $10 million bid in country X. It was a national infrastructure build out. We were sure that we had it. We had the RFP down. We had the technical details. We were for sure. But at the 11th hour, the company decided to select Huawei, and this is back over a decade, right? This is between 2005 and 2010, when Huawei had substandard products. Today, they're a leader in the market, thanks to the academic research from the UK and Canadian academics, as well as other places, but that's neither here nor there. And the reason they succeeded at penetrating, different markets globally is because their government represented select companies, i.e. Huawei, and put it as, included it as part of national trade agreements. So they said, company X, we're going to help you with your socioeconomic development goals. We're going to help you do this and that. And their promises were large. So the least that they could do, they say, well, and could you throw in return, could you please give Huawei that network infrastructure contract for $10 million? So I would hear that it was a mandate from above and beyond the company's level. So my point is, China went out full and strong. They played on terms that we don't play with, right? We don't play by those rules. America doesn't go and tell another country they must purchase Cisco networking equipment if they want to do a trade agreement with America, right? So those are kind of the dynamics. So did they created their own system that was a competitive disadvantage for our system.
Thank you. That's a very helpful illustrative example of what we were talking about. You've obviously spoken very favourably about Western collaboration so far. Should that collaboration in finding solutions for 5G, should that be instigated by the security and information sharing initiatives that we have, such as Five Eyes? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of having a security-led thing rather than the commercial approach? Sorry, to Ms. Karam again.
Yes, I think there's definitely value in having the Security Commission participate, but if it can be a collaborative effort, I think that would be fruitful. I think the security bodies have been also very objective, and they have been very good at identifying the true gaps. But I think in order to amplify and accelerate development, I think it could be a dual group initiative. And that's not to discount what the security group does. I just think in order to commercialize and actually create a position in this 5G market in a quick way, there are many dynamics to consider.
So would you suggest we need to go wider than just the Five Eyes countries and bring other countries on board, even though they don't necessarily share the same views on Huawei?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that question. Absolutely. And I think one of the other key things that we're forgetting, so I think there's two phases. I think we, the Five Eyes and some other countries, are playing defense. Defense, even just from an economic perspective or a competitiveness perspective. We're trying to play catch up. We admit that we took our eye off the ball, and now we want to play because we know it's important, not only for economic security, but national security. However, if we really want to be a significant player globally in the long term, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, we are forgetting about emerging markets. Emerging markets is a really big potential market. So just from a commercial business perspective, if we, collectively the Five Eyes, want to have a significant play in 5G beyond just the national security concern, we do need to recruit other countries, because Huawei and China are viewed very favorably in a lot of emerging countries. And if they are the future in terms of addressable market, indeed, we need to reach out and recruit more players.
Thank you. And the potential approaches for this collaborative solution obviously include things like common standards. We'll talk a little bit more about Open RAN later, if that's okay, but collective purchasing, coordinated R&D funding. What other ways could a Western collaboration work together?
I think tapping into the academics. So we talked about research and development and funding there. I think the UK, Canada, and the US as well. We have pools of really intelligent people, right? There's a lot of intellectual capital that we can tap into. So in terms of Canada, one of the biggest bees in my bonnet is that we have researchers across 13 universities across Canada fueling Huawei's 5G R&D, because they're smart, they're curious, they want to apply themselves, and Huawei said, okay, let us be the catalyst for that. So that's even another source for us to tap into, is A, they understand the market, B, they understand Huawei's solution. How can we mobilize that intellectual capital to work together and to figure out the next solution?